Father's Day, June 18th, 2023. What a day. And we've been gone. Vacation, sorry, but we're back. So me and Danny are ready to rock and roll. A lot has happened. Sadly, the Miami Heat haven't won. That's okay, but we have a lot. Don't want to got a nice review of The Flash. We both went and saw it. And that's pretty much it. So we're gonna go and get started, but we'll let Danny say his hellos. Go ahead, Danny.
Hello, everyone. Danny Ivan. We've been out for 2 weeks. First week, Luke went on a family vacation to California with everyone. I couldn't go. I already had plans for a 1-year anniversary with my girlfriend for Sedona the weekend after. So that's why we were absent for 2 weeks. But we are back now, rejuvenated. Lots to talk about. Excited. Lots of going on in sports.
Oh yeah, without further ado, let's just kick it off with Denver. Do we have is that where we're going?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we need any graphics. This is kind of old news now. Denver won, right? They won Game 5 of the series. First win ever for the Denver Nuggets.
But we haven't talked about it yet, so this is what matters. Like, we haven't talked about it yet.
Yeah, we haven't talked about it. Anything particular that really strikes you?
The Joker's the truth. He's the truth. Watching him play, it was watching a sixth grader play against kindergartners. It was crazy. It took me back to like my elementary days when like the big kids, like we would try to play with sixth graders when we were in third grade and they would just destroy us. That's how it felt. Joker is that good.
He's just hard to guard, hard to defend against. Doesn't miss. His 3-point shooting is good.
His interior game is ridiculous.
He had that one. What game was it? Was it game 3 where he went 30 points? Was it 20 rebounds and 10 assists?
Oh, when him and Jamal both got triple doubles, first time ever. Not just triple doubles, but 30-point triple doubles. Mm-hmm. It's never happened in the NBA ever.
I thought it was just a playoff.
No, ever. It was just pretty amazing.
Oh, for 2 players to get triple doubles?
For 2 players to do it, teammates to do it. There have been teammates that gotten triple doubles, but not teammates that had 30-point triple doubles, which is pretty amazing. But Joker's legit. I mean, I listen. I'm a Suns fan. I don't like seeing Denver win because I think there are rivals, right? You know, Lakers are too, but I think now it's more of a Phoenix, Denver, Phoenix, Dallas, Phoenix, LA. I guess they're all, we hate all of them, but man, we just didn't want to see Denver get it before the Suns, and they did.
Yeah. Jimmy Buckets, he can only do so much. They only won 1 game, and they won 1 game in Denver, right? They didn't win a game in Miami.
No.
If I recall, it was game 2.
No.
Yeah, so Denver lost 1 at home, but they were able. Good for them to win Game 5 at home, to celebrate it there too. That's ideally what you want.
Did they win at home?
It was Game 5, right?
Was it at home?
Yeah. Game 5. First 2 games in Denver, next 2 games in Miami, Game 5 in Denver. Otherwise, Game 6 would have been in Miami. Game 7 would have been in
No, I think you're right. But I'm going to look it up. It's called Verify.
Trust yet verify.
But Jimmy, I'm with you on Jimmy Butler. But I think they just ran out of gas, right?
They were the number 8 seed. They weren't even supposed to go that far on paper. But yeah, it's just a good story. It would have been greater if they won it all, sure. But getting that far alone is phenomenal. They have a good story for winning the Eastern Conference alone.
Yeah.
Just when they shouldn't have, and they beat tough teams to get there.
You're right. I'm looking at it right now. You're seeing it as well, Denver. Okay, so Nuggets won first game. The Heat won the second game in Denver, and that's when I was like, "Oh, you gotta believe." Mm-hmm. And then they got beat pretty bad. Game 3, 109-94. Game 4, 108-95 in Miami. Then they go to Denver, and Denver wins 94-89. Now Miami's going to have to retool. They're going to do something, I hear.
What was their weak areas?
I think they need to get another running mate with Jimmy Buckets. You can't. He was the only one doing anything. Kyle Lowry sucked. He didn't do anything. I think he's just Same thing. He got the Chris Paul disease. Too old. Father Time just said, you know what? You can't do it anymore. So I think that's what it was. That Tyler kid that didn't play, maybe would have made a difference. I don't know. Kevin Love, he was all right. He just, same thing. He's getting old too. I think they're going to go for some young blood, some young players out there. But, I could see Miami doing well again, but I don't know if they can get back in there unless they get a big name. They could get Lillard over in Portland. If they get that, it's game over. I heard rumors he might come to the Suns. If that happens, oh my gosh.
Ooh, before we talk more about Suns, any more on Denver winning it all?
Yeah, I mean, you got to give them their due.
The respect. Right?
Joker is. A lot of people are like, I can't believe they won. How? Like, Joker's won 2 MVPs. Mm-hmm. Like, he's a
back to back.
He's a good play. Arguably, could have won this year. He was close, but he's still a top 3 player.
Finals MVP.
Yeah. Yep. He's
no doubt about that. So we'll give him that.
Yeah, he's a top 3 NBA player, and like watching that series, I'm just like, dude, this guy's unguardable. He plays hard, but and it shows his brothers. You see his brothers?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're big dudes too.
They're also big. They weren't. They're not basketball players, right?
No, you see,
could have been. Right?
One of his brothers looked like a hitman. You see him? He looked like he can be in a John Wick movie.
A friend of mine took a picture with him. It was pretty cool.
Oh, really? Yeah, he's a pretty big dude. And I was like, yeah, that's Big Brother. He probably like beat up a lot of kids, in the name of Joker.
Well, Joker, I mean, we all seen pictures of him when he was a fat kid.
Yeah, Luka was too.
Yeah.
Luka was too.
Luka was too? Okay.
They're both still fat. You ever see them in the offseason? Dude, the thing is with those players, like those European players, they put on the weight on the offseason. They start playing, they start practicing, like they were saying the Joker's like, hey, now it's time to go do my thing. When I get back, then I'll start practicing and stuff. So they use preseason to get back in shape. Mm-hmm. They live their life. They enjoy it. But they have the talent. Like they have the natural talent to play the sport. Because you see Luka drops like 20 pounds every season. He comes in a little bigger, but drops the pound. Nothing like Zion, though. Zion was big. Hey, that's talking about guys getting out of shape. Dude, that's one dude that gets out of shape.
If you were an athlete, what would you do on your off season?
I wouldn't work out as hard, but I would still work out.
Yeah.
I would go to my summer homes and travel, and I would enjoy life, but you gotta watch what you eat because you are an athlete and you are playing for the next contract. You are playing for. I mean, you can't just take the big contract and think, "Oh, life is great." You gotta get that endorsement money too, right? You gotta get better and better so people buy your jerseys. Your name's still on discussions. People
stay on top of it.
Yeah, people want to. People want you. Hey, will you endorse Sprite? Will you come and wear these shoes? Hey,
Because I feel like a lot of athletes, off season, they don't do anything. I've heard this about football players too.
No, not all. There's a lot.
They get way overweight. And they have not been exercising. They think they just come into training camp and they'll be okay. And before they know it, they're huffing and puffing. When the younger blood out there is like out competing them or getting really close.
Well, it's the guys that don't have the big contracts that out compete them.
Mm-hmm. They're hungry.
I think it's like that in every sport, though. You can make an argument for a lot of players. I know baseball, you get that big contract, and then all of a sudden you don't see those numbers like they had before. The most dangerous players out there are the 1-year contract guys. The guys that don't have a guarantee after this season, that have to play hard, that have to get, more yards per carry, this and that. But, that's a bad analogy, yards per carry nowadays, because do you notice, like, no one wants running backs?
Is that becoming a thing?
Like, they don't want to pay running backs, and they don't last long. I mean, dude, you're 30, you're old for a running back now in today's NFL, which is, to me, is just crazy to think that.
Running back is a very critical position, but at the same time, it's probably the most dangerous position.
It is, but a lot of teams have gone to a two-horse running back show. Mm-hmm. They don't want to overpay the one running back like they did, like the Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith anymore.
They share the ball a lot. Mm-hmm.
Share they carry. So why are you going to pay this guy X amount when you're like, you know what, I can pay this guy? And one team that's really good about that is the Patriots, right? The Patriots are like, we're not going to draft the quarterback.
I've noticed that. I never get a Patriots running back in fantasy football. because they never have a prime guy. But you're right; they always have two guys, and it's almost good as one primary guy. You let one running back rest, let the other one charge in hard, back and forth.
Yeah, and a lot of them have like the catching running back. Mm-hmm. The guy that can catch from the backfield would be an extra receiver, and then one that runs the carries. But you almost have to have running backs in today's game that can do both, because if you have just like that, what I just explained, whoa, this running back takes the carries, the other one's a catching running back. Well, when you see the catching running back in formation, you know, hey, this is a pass play. Mm-hmm. If you're the defense, but if you have two running backs that can do both catch and run, then you don't know what's going to happen, right? So, yeah, that's the crazy thing, because right now, you see, Dalvin Cook got cut by Minnesota.
No. Minnesota cut him?
Yeah, and it's weird because they cut him here when every other team is already established and already has who they want. Dalvin Cook's good. He's still young.
Why do you think they cut him? Is it money, or is it just...
They have another young running back there that can, play for less money. And they probably said, we're not going anywhere. We're not going to be as great. Or this guy's not going to move the meter compared to what we have already. And that's what it is. So I think... Dalvin Cook, I could see him going to like Miami. Not the Cardinals. Cardinals are like 2 years away.
I think Cardinals are a rebuild team.
They're tearing it down. Tear it down, because you're not gonna do well for a while.
We talked about this last time. They're underdogs in every single game.
I'm rooting for them to go worst team. Absolutely, them in Houston.
Well, I mean, I'm not a gambler. But I could do the Cardinals a solid and just always bet against them for every game, because they typically do the exact opposite of what I bet for. If I bet for the Cardinals to win, they always lose. So I guess, but I feel like you could get your money's worth. This is not advice, by the way. You get your money's worth. If you bet against the Cardinals, you have a good chance of getting some profit. There's a lot of losses coming up in the future. We almost see it.
Yeah, because we don't know how long Kyler's going to be gone.
What was it, guaranteed like 4 games?
It's
almost
at
6?
At least. I predict he'll be gone for 8. But not just that. I don't think he wants to come back early. Why? He has no receivers. Dude, that team's going to be so bad.
Who's their backup quarterback again?
It was Colt McCoy. He's not there anymore.
He's not there anymore? So who are they going to have?
I don't know. It's not even worth...
Not even worth looking up right now?
Not even worrying about it, because... Honestly, we'll talk about it down the road. I think they're a team that's just, D-Hop is out there interviewing, seeing where he fits. I think I can see him going to the Patriots, but if I was him, I'd go to the Chiefs. Do you want a ring, or do you want the most money?
Yeah. Do you want a ring? Because he has money. Come on. Like, if you're a football player like that, you've already signed one big contract as it is. That's that double-digit millions. Like, do you really need more money, or do you want a ring?
I would want to go somewhere where I know I can get more endorsement dollars.
Yeah, because that's where the real money is.
Yeah.
I mean, you get money from big contracts, but there's also endorsement money. And I think he gets national endorsement money, not just like local money, right?
Yeah, you want that national, but you also want to get a shoe deal. I know football is minor on those things, but you got to go, you got to win to get that endorsement money. Mm-hmm. So you got to go to a big team that's going to,
Well, we saw that there's rumors that it might be the Patriots. Patriots would be a good one.
Could be. Have they done anything since Brady left?
Well, they made it to the playoffs, first round.
Yay.
I mean, yeah, but it's still Bill Belichick, though. Like, there's something about that coach that he knows. He has, like, the formula. Like, one of the best formulas out of any head coach of, like, how to get a team. Like, he just analyzes, like, this quarterback can do this, this, and this. I will exploit these strengths.
I will disagree with you until he wins.
Until he wins another one without Brady?
Without Brady. Okay. Win without Brady, and then we can talk.
I mean, just being able to just take a bunch of, like, I wouldn't say nobodies, but guys who are not big names to just a playoff run. That's really good.
Well,
better than what the Cardinals can provide.
Well, yeah, anything's better than the Cardinals. I mean, but when we say playoff run, that division's hard. You got Buffalo and Miami in there. That's gonna be they're gonna be good. I think Miami's gonna be
that
good.
supports my argument. I mean, there's tougher teams in that division too, and he still was able to get into the playoffs.
You have 2 guaranteed wins.
Freaking last year,
Oh,
with the
not
Cardinals,
even. Aaron
with the
Rodgers.
Cardinals, the Rams sucked too. So there was still some opportunity to get them. They still
Seahawks
fell
weren't that
apart.
great. Seahawks were not that
sucked.
great.
Like
They
those
weren't that
49ers
great.
are wet.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh. I mean, I could
the
go on
Seahawks
so
were-
long about
this-
the Cardinals, but
Yeah.
this is not the season for them. It's just coming up. We all know it. It's coming up.
All right, tell me right now, before the season starts. I know it's early. Where are the Patriots going to finish in that division?
In that division. You know what? This will
Because now you have Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, and you don't know what they're going to do.
okay? Why did I put NHL? Let me just look up
Because it's going to be
the division, everything. As
It's
a whole.
Miami, the
I'm gonna
Jets.
pull up NFL.
The Bills are going to win that division.
Mm-hmm.
You know they're gonna win. I think Patriots finish 3rd. For some reason, I don't see the Jets doing well with Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, I'll pull this up so everyone else can see too. Let me zoom in real quick. So, Miami.
They finished 3rd last season. It's going to be, you know what? I could see it going like that. Not the same records, but that's how they're going to finish.
I think I'd reverse it 9-8, 9 wins, 8 losses. Well, Jets can get, with Aaron Rodgers.
They can go 9-8.
Do you think Aaron Rodgers' Jets will be a playoff team?
No.
You don't think they'll be a playoff
No.
team?
Well, it's too early. Well, when we get in preseason and we start talking, when we study, we haven't studied. I'm just saying right now, I'm looking at them going, no.
I'm looking at this because the Bills are a great team. So I don't think the Patriots will take the AFC East, but I think they'll still be a wild card playoff team.
I think Miami is a wild card team.
Well, I mean, it could be 2 from
Yeah, I know it can be 2, but
AFC, but
I'm going to say no. Well, it depends. If they get D-Hop, it might be different. But right now, the way the Patriots are built, I don't think they're in the playoffs. But then again, how weak is the whole AFC?
actually, wait, the Patriots didn't go to the playoffs last season, huh?
No.
Almost. They were in the run. Okay, I don't know why I thought they were, but they were not. They were close.
Yeah, they're close.
They were close. Just other teams just did better than them by a game because it was the Ravens did better than by 2 games. Close. All right, maybe I gave them too much hype.
Yep, too much hype.
I guess I gave them too much hype. I thought I was a little impressed, but I think they could go 9-8. But I'm not a Patriots fan. I don't know why I'm giving them so much kudos, but I think I just saw some games.
Their quarterback, Mac Jones, is average at best.
Average at best, but I thought he could have been.
But he could put him in the same.
Belichick.
You could put him in the same category as Kyler Murray, though.
That bad?
Yeah, Kyler's not that good, dude.
I mean, I've heard it best with who are those guys on ESPN? Skip and oh gosh, I am going blank. But anyway, I've heard that Kyler Murray is really good at backyard football, and that can only last for so long.
Yeah, he's not. And the Chiefs are just going to steamroll everyone again, I think. They have a great formula.
I mean, there's also, the Chiefs for AFC and then the Eagles again for NFC.
No, I think the Eagles are really good, so.
Shit, I didn't know the Bears was that bad.
Will they get in? No. Bears are horrible. Bears have been horrible for a long time.
I don't understand it. Even if they get down, they manage to screw it up.
But yet Bears fans, like, oh my God, they're so unbelievable.
Oh, I know.
Nicest people, though, Bears fans. They're not rowdy. They're like used to losing. And it's an excuse for them to drink.
Because we lose.
Like,
we drink because we lose.
I haven't seen that many skinny Bears fans. All they do is drink and eat bratwurst. It is pretty funny. They're good people, though. It's better than the alternative.
Because I lived in a year in Chicago, so that was, I gotta admit, Bears fans have always been great. It's very general. I haven't seen like Bear fans get rowdy and start fights like other football fans, but
No, they're not Raiders fans.
They're not Raiders fans, that's for sure. Cardinals fans, I mean, that's another team that's going to get used to losing.
Cardinals fans, though, going to Cardinals games is starting to get pretty rough. There's some fights in the stands. Not a lot, but there's a lot of like.
It happens, but at the same time, that stadium is a lot less Cardinals fans and more of the home team, the visiting team fans.
I went to a Chiefs game. And I was like, oh, cool, a lot of Cardinal red. And I realized, oh, that's Kansas City red. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of Chiefs fans. A lot. It was pretty embarrassing. But you got to win. You got to win.
I mean, does the Cardinals really have to be a winning team again like they were before?
Yeah.
Because they were just fine getting visitors coming in here and just getting tickets to watch their team beat up on the Cardinals. They were like that for the longest time until Michael Bidwell Sr. died. Yeah. And then they tried to rally them up into a football team. I don't know if they're going to be able to anytime soon. They're in a major rebuild phase right now.
When do you think the Cardinals changed to a winning team? When Larry got here?
Well, Larry got here, what was it, 2004?
2003, 2004, yeah.
Or was that Anquan Bolden 2003, 2004?
Bolden was a year before.
I know Bolden was a year before. So you had two stellar wide receivers, and all you needed was a stellar quarterback. But it was almost like a fluke because they thought it was Matt Leinart was the answer, but it turned out to be Kurt Warner.
Yeah, I did like when they had Carson Palmer. They had some decent seasons with him. Not great, but decent. But Kurt Warner, for me, was the page turner for Arizona Cardinals football. He was the staple that they needed to change the franchise.
Right.
They should have won that Super Bowl.
Well, I think it was his leadership because he made that team believe.
Yeah, but he also had, I mean, think about it. He had Bolden and Larry, and they were both like 1,000-yard receivers.
Mm-hmm, both of them.
Because he could throw the ball. Can you imagine Kurt Warner was on the Giants and they cut him because he wasn't cutting it? They had Eli, and they're like, hey, let's let this Eli kid play. Mm-hmm. Well, you spend a number one pick on Eli, so you're not going to stay with the geezer.
Right.
The geezer goes to Arizona to retire, and he just kills it.
It's like, you know what? I'm not just going to be joining the Cardinals, where people go to retire, get like the last Smith. Check, right?
Yep.
I think he was like, you know what? I want to try one more time.
One more push.
Because I could just throw the ball, float it up, and either Anquan Bolden or Larry Fitzgerald would come down with it.
And that's what they did for the longest time, and it worked.
It was working.
It worked for him. I think that's when I became, not a fan.
Bidwell Sr. was still alive, right?
I can't remember.
Or was he handing the torch off to his son at that time?
I think Mike took it over.
Mike took it over. I mean, do you think it was just a fluke, or is it just...
It's not a fluke when you do it season after season. They had some good seasons. It wasn't like a 1 year. Yeah, it was like three.
It was about three,
It was about three good runs where people were talking about the Cardinals. And like, oh, they're good. And that's how it was with Kyler like 2 years ago.
Well, they had one good year, and that was it.
Yeah, but they were talking about how, Phoenix is on the map. Arizona Cardinals are doing this, and this. But that's a fluke.
That's a fluke. About flukes.
That's a fluke.
That one's a fluke.
Unless you can do it, he can't do it. You know what? And I feel bad. You know who I feel bad for on the team? My favorite Cardinal is Budda Baker.
Isn't he going to be leaving?
He wants
a trade. I think he sees the future. His agent's like, dude, the future is not the Cardinals.
I don't think he sees the future. He doesn't see the heart. He probably just sees that the rest of the team is not on the same page as him. And he's like, we're here. We might as well give it our all. And he probably sees that there's players on the team that aren't doing or living up to the same expectations of giving their all. And that's probably why he wants to leave. So I love Budda. And you know what? If you want to go, then let him go to a championship team. Trade him to a championship team.
Let him go to the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'd hate that. What would you want? I mean, I could see Budda going to Miami, doing well there. You can't trade him in the NFC. You got to let him go to the AFC. I don't want to see him go to the Chiefs because he'll win one right away. Patriots, maybe? Mm-hmm. Bills? Bengals?
I mean, you want him to go on a championship team, so you don't want him to win right away?
No, not against. No, he'll win right away somewhere, but not the Chiefs.
You don't want it to be with the Chiefs?
No, I want him to intercept the Chiefs and throw it in their face. He's a hard player. He's a great player. I watched Hard Knocks with him, or not Hard Knocks. Is it Hard Knocks that was on Amazon Prime?
I think Hard Knocks is HBO's version.
Amazon Prime has a show.
Has their own version, right?
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about. Like they follow the team.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They followed Arizona.
They followed the Cardinals mid-season.
Mm-hmm.
It was good. You see Buda Baker, and you're like, this dude's the real deal. This is what every team wants, is a player like that with so much heart that it
Good work
pours
ethic.
out. Great work ethic. So I don't know. I hope Kyler gets better, but maybe it's not just him. Maybe it's the O-line. Maybe it's like a lot of things. Maybe this new coach would just add energy.
No one has high expectations for this new coach, right? I don't think that's a big thing, but he could surprise us. I mean, I'm sure that's what is on his mind. He's like, I'm ready to surprise everyone. I could probably be the one who can coach Kyler Murray, or figure it out when Kyler Murray comes back, or just get the team going. I don't know. It's a lot of work for this head coach to really prove himself to be a head coach.
We'll talk more about the Cardinals down the road when it's time for it. I think we need to do a little research. NFL starts what? End of July, August is like the first preseason game.
I think it's
Hall of
August
Fame
till like early September.
The Hall of Fame game is the first game, first preseason game, and then we start to go from there. I know they have tomorrow. They have mandatory practice. The first mandatory practice.
Oh, so people don't like skip out on training camp and stuff?
Yep. So we'll see what happens. We'll see the names that don't show up.
All right. So, other news. Ready for another news, or you have more?
Yeah, no, I'm on your time.
Let's go with Phoenix Suns. Speaking of new head coaches, should we give this time about Monty Williams, or do we talk enough about Monty Williams and how we felt about him being released?
Monty Williams, real quick, just because he's gone, I feel bad. Didn't his wife die? And then during the playoffs, his new wife got breast cancer?
That I don't know, but I know she has cancer of some sort right now, which is tough.
Like, he got the news of that during these playoffs.
Oof. During the playoffs?
Yeah,
I thought it was just recent.
Yeah, recent, like during the playoffs. Maybe that weighed on him.
I think the two blowouts, that's why he was fired. It was two blowouts in the playoffs. It's hard for me to believe that it's his fault.
I don't think it's his fault.
Thank you, because I think there was a player who just didn't give his all at the end.
Was that player?
He's the tallest African American player on that team.
Does it rhyme with PA?
PA?
Yeah.
No.
So it's not DeAndre Ayton?
It is Ayton.
Yeah, PA, DA.
Oh.
Same thing. Whatever.
I had me confused for a second.
No, I think you're right. I think Ayton is a corporate, and he should be locked up and sent to Russia.
Jeez, crap.
Just
I wasn't
kidding.
that extreme, but I've seen him give up too early, not give it all. I've seen some people make some analysis on him of his like performance on the court, like slow motion, like look at these plays. He just sits there and just watches the play happen and not do anything. Like, I get it. I see it a lot, too. He misses some easy shots all the time. He's not as aggressive as he should be for a center. Because we saw with Joker. Oh, my gosh. Joker schooled him. I guess that was demoralizing because he was playing up against the best. So, it's hard to compete against that one. But
So you think he gave up on Monty?
Or the team.
Well, it's the same thing. But maybe in his mind, he's thinking, oh, I'll make Monty look bad. Not realizing he's making the team look bad.
You think he's doing it to make
If
Monty
that's the
look
case,
bad?
but either way, if I'm on that team, I don't want to say if I'm Booker or if I'm KD or even Chris Paul, then I'm like, dude, you shouldn't be here.
Well,
If we're giving it our all,
if you were the general manager and you're like, okay, we just gave this guy a max contract,
and
do
this
we
is
really
what he
want to
does.
stick with him and maybe another head coach can do better with this guy, or do we get rid of the current head coach? Because you see the players talk to him like, hey man, you got to give it harder. This is going on. You have to focus on this. And then you just see DeAndre Ayton just be stubborn over in the corner. I don't know if he's being stubborn or if he's just trying to absorb it or he's just overwhelmed.
Are you talking about when Chris Paul tried to tell him, hey, keep your head up, and he like totally dissed?
Well, that or Devin Booker, even Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Like, there's some sideline talks that you can hear with like the mics and whatnot, but
Or do you blame it on his age, him still being a young player?
I don't know about that.
He hasn't hit his prime yet.
He hasn't hit his prime. It's just maybe it was just something. Maybe it could be coaching on like, hey, you gotta unlock some potential with this guy. If you see something, you have to really hone in and correct it because he keeps making the same mistakes, or he's just not hustling as he should be. It's so hard. What do you do with a max contract guy like that?
Trade him.
Yeah, who wants to pick it up though? There's plenty of players. I guess there's plenty of teams that would pick that up, right?
There's a lot of teams that think he's valuable.
Right.
That's young, big man like that. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, man. I'd rather have a big man that can't score and just will try to stop. You need someone that's going to stop the Joker. If not, you're not going to win anything. And he got bounced. Mm-hmm. He got bounced. So you know he's not the answer to the Joker. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter how many points he scores, he's not the answer. So you got to figure that out. You also have to figure out Chris Paul. You have to figure out, too, Jay Crowder. Some of the Suns players want him back. And Jay Crowder says he wouldn't mind coming back because it was all about him and Monty didn't get along.
Was that true?
That's what I hear.
Yeah, I have to hear about that, too.
Okay, here's the question. Would you want Jay Crowder back?
For not playing a season, I think I have a sour taste in my mouth for that. I didn't know you can do that as a player. Just be like, I'm not going to play a season, and I'll still have a good reputation in the NBA. I didn't know that was a thing. And then you finally get traded and starts playing for another team. I didn't know that you could just do that, and then other teams would be okay with it. Then you start playing with another team. Like, did you really want that attitude in the locker room?
Well, for the Suns players to be okay with it and saying, hey, come back. And he's like, oh, yeah, I would come back. And those players wanting him back, that speaks volumes. That means whatever it was justified. Mm-hmm. That means there must have been some bad back and forth, some hatred or something that the players were like, well, you know what? Jay's not really in the wrong. And that's why they fired the coach and not the player. They got rid of Jay because they had to.
Maybe they could have said Monty Williams is probably not the answer.
But with DA, they're probably like, well, we can't get rid of DA. This is a second player. Mm-hmm. If this is, first time, I get it. Second time, it's not a coincidence. Something's wrong with the coach if that's going on. So what is Frank Vogel going to do different?
Let me pull him up.
That Monty hasn't, right? And with Frank Vogel, are you sold on him? Do you like him? Is he the answer? Is he the guy that's going to get us over the hump? Because I'm telling you right now, I don't think so. I don't think so.
He just
and it's nothing against Frank Vogel. I just don't think the Suns, what I saw and what I see from the other teams coming, Golden State's going to get stronger. Guarantee it. Clippers are going to get stronger. Guarantee it. Denver is going to be Denver.
Well, here's the thing. They're going to build the Suns around Booker and Kevin Durant. So
you need a bench. You need a bench.
They need a bench so badly. Was it the rotation that Monty wasn't doing very well? People question his rotation method.
Again, you can't blame a coach for not having talent. You traded your bench and assets to get Kevin Durant. Mm-hmm. Thinking Kevin Durant was going to come in and be Kevin Durant of old. Instead, he's just old Kevin Durant. He's good. He's not great. Mm-hmm. You traded for great, and you didn't get it. And you won't. He's old. Another year's coming up on him.
And for Chris Paul.
Yeah, and they're just good. They're good. Right now, you have greatness in Devin Booker.
Just like LeBron James, good, but not good enough to win a championship anymore.
That's another guy. I don't think LeBron James wins another championship unless he does the Tom Brady approach and says, I am willing to take pay cuts to bring in the talent to win.
Yeah, I got my money. I just want to win rings now.
He doesn't just have money. He has, residuals. He has his shoe contracts. He has his drink contracts. He has all these investments. Take pay cuts. Go get the good players. Mm-hmm. Create that super team that you always talk about. But you can't because everyone wants their handout. Mm-hmm. You've gotten those big deals. Why does it matter if you have 3 teammates that make more money than you? You're going to win a championship. Your name's number 1 on that list. You're the head guy on the roster. What does it care how much the other guys are making?
I wonder if that takes into account with contracts. Hey, if we take a pay cut in this NBA contract, we can guarantee you endorsements with say Nike or something.
It happens all the time.
I'm sure it's been thought of, right?
Yeah, but you got to look at, too, like, a lot of it is ego, right?
Sure.
Your buddies see, oh, dude, you're good, but so-and-so is making more money than you. Oh, you're good, but you're only the third highest paid player in your team.
You should be. I want to be the number one highest paid player on the team.
Yeah, you'll get endorsements that your teammates can't get.
Mm-hmm.
You have arguably the second best shoe deal in the history of basketball.
Mm-hmm.
It's him and Kobe. You're right there because you're not touching Jordan. You're not touching Jordan shoes. Though that thing is way ahead.
Mm-hmm.
His sneakers, like, I have a ton of Jordans. Like, they're great. So he's not going to touch.
So, Frank Vogel, not the answer, you don't think? Playoff coach, at least.
He's a good coach. He's good coach, but I just think he's coming in. I don't want Suns fans to think that he's the answer because he's playing with veterans. He's not playing with a bunch of young kids and he's going to miraculously get them together. The Suns are going to go in this offseason. They're going to go get some pieces, and he might have a better record or a better playoff run than Monty. And people are like, look, Frank Vogel is so good. Look at the rosters. They're going to be different. So they'll go in the playoffs, hopefully finish top 4 in the playoffs, and go from there.
Yeah. We're also talking about Chris Paul has until the 28th before they make a decision on what to do with him, right? So the Suns make a decision before 28th for his contract to become fully guaranteed at that $38 million. If otherwise they just waive him or try to trade him or something, because that's a lot of money. Like, is Chris Paul really worth that money, or could you find another center for that same amount?
Another point guard for that amount? I don't know. I don't know who's out there. There's a rumor that the Suns want to bring in Bradley Beal. I don't think he's the answer because he commands a big paycheck. Do I like Bradley Beal? He's good. I'm not in love with him. Is he going to help out the team? I don't know. But for Chris Paul, I mean, he's just not there when it counts. And it's not his fault. His body's just breaking down. He gives it his all, and he can't get it done. He just can't get it done. That's how I feel. What do you think?
Yeah, I like Chris Paul a lot. I really do. I respect him a lot. Because the person you want right now who can just lift the most weight on that team is going to be Devin Booker. He still can. He's still great. He's still in his prime. Chris Paul, how can he help him? Does he help him a lot? Is he more of an asset or is he more of a liability at this time? Is there a point guard that they could bring in that can provide? But like you said, there's not that many out there. Otherwise, they'll demand a lot of money. But it's going to be the Devin Booker and Kevin Durant show. So how do you build a team around that when there's other 2 players that have max contracts? Ayton and Chris Paul. Ayton, it's hard to say. They're going to keep him, huh?
Because they might not find a suitor. That whole trade to Portland for the 3rd pick or whatever, that's not going to happen. They're not going to. There's so many good players. There's a handful of players in the draft. I think 3 really good players that can change your team. That's why I was like, yeah, all 4. Yeah, trade Ayton for the 3rd pick overall in a heartbeat and get that Scoot kid that we talked about. Mm-hmm. That kid's legit. There's your point guard of the future right there. Him and Devin for the next decade, dangerous. But
who's that tall French guy?
He is a game changer.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to change the game like another. But he's skinny right now. A lot of people are like, oh, he's tiny.
Just needs to bulk up, whatever.
This is the NBA. They're going to bulk him up.
Plus, Kevin Durant is skinny still.
Yeah, he's so good. This kid is so good, but we'll see.
But there's no way the Suns can get him.
No, he's going to the Spurs. There's no way you're going to trade a generational talent like that. They're saying he's the best talent since LeBron James.
Mm-hmm. Sure. I mean, there's no way the Spurs are going to give up that opportunity.
No, Pop's going to be like, cool, now I can rebuild and put San Antonio back on the map. There you go. You start off with that big guy. and then you can go in free agency and pick up some pieces, and they can get back to the playoffs and start giving people problems. And if you're an old school Suns fan, you know you hate the Spurs.
Oh yeah,
You hate the Spurs with every fiber in your being. You know, you hate them. They tackled. Was it Robert Horry tackled Steve Nash? Is that right?
Yeah.
Someone will tell me.
Someone in the comments.
Someone always corrects me, so yeah, someone will tell me, which is fine.
Trolls always come in hard.
I love it though. You know, I give them. I say, hey, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
sometimes they give me the finger back, and I'm like, oh, that's a cool looking finger. Mm-hmm. But no, I think it's interesting, and we'll see where that goes. But
okay. Well, anything else for the Suns before we move on?
nope, we're good.
Next for Arizona. Again, we're still talking about Arizona sports. Diamondbacks. Let me just pull up the current standings because Diamondbacks are very impressive this year, and I need to follow them more.
Who would have thought that they'd be in first place?
How were they last year? They weren't that great,
like
right?
Fourth place.
Yeah, because like the past few years they weren't that great, and then
They're
now
not
I'm
supposed
like,
to be
wait a
this good, this fast, supposedly.
Yeah, that's good to hear. I might pick up more watching their games, pay attention more, because I don't know many players on that team at all. I just follow the feed on social media, and I just see Diamondbacks win, Diamondbacks win, Diamondbacks win. Top of the NL West now. It's like, whoa, okay.
Where can you watch Diamondbacks games on TV?
Oh, I don't know.
Can you watch it on your TV?
It can either be what, Fox Sports 1, or is it Bally's again?
It's on Bally's.
It's still on Bally's?
I don't have Bally's.
Oh.
I have YouTube TV, and
They don't have
it.
Bally's.
I have the baseball package, and it's blacked out. Every game's blacked out. Why do I have, and I hate because you buy the package, watch all 30 MLB games, blah, blah, and then, oh, yeah, local teams are blacked out. I'm like, what the hell? You should maybe throw that in your pitch before I pay all this money to watch this, pay for this package. I should be able to sue them. False advertising. I want my money back.
That's frustrating. Like, well, yeah, because Bally's is not there.
Yep.
And that should be something like, okay, what about people who have to watch their local teams on Bally's, but it's not on YouTube TV, so if they buy the sports package, they should be allowed to watch their local teams.
You would think.
You would think. That's crap.
It is such crap. It's blacked out my butt. It's crazy. But, the Diamondbacks have a lot of good players, man. Clinton. They have this kid in the outfield, Carroll, is Rookie of the Year candidate. He'll get Rookie of the Year most likely, but he's a top 3 candidate for MVP this year, which is pretty amazing. They also have one of the best top 5 pitchers in baseball, Zach Gallen, who's doing amazing. He's number 23, Zach Gallen, pitcher.
I see him on my social media feed all the time.
He's awesome. They have a marketing thing because his last name is Gallen. Like Fry's has a thing where he was signing autographs on gallons of milk. Like, buy milk, buy a gallon of milk, and Zach Gallen will sign it for you, which is pretty cool. Christian Walker's pretty dope. Corbin Carroll is the outfielder, number 7, stud. Just a stud. Like I said, Christian Walker's cool. Evan Longoria came here. He was one of my favorite players years ago. He's on the Diamondbacks. Doesn't really start because they have a couple other guys that are really good too, but he can still mash the ball. But they have a lot of good guys. I mean, Jake McCarthy's one of my personal favorites that I like to watch on the team. He's a stud. They traded Lourdes Gurriel, kid out of Cuba, stud. Their outfielders are studs. Pavin Smith, he's like a fan favorite. He's like an organization favorite. Guy hits 200 and they keep him in the lineup. He has a little pop. They had him forever. I remember when they got him, they drafted him. It was pretty cool. And he bought his mom and dad a house, and it's like a pretty cool story. Ketel Marte's good. Josh Rojas. Nick Ahmed's been there forever. Not a starter anymore. He got taken over by Perdomo. He's like the new starting shortstop. But there's your team, man. They're exciting. They're a fun team to watch. They're first place, man. How are people not going to games? Still, a lot of people. I just saw an article, that said, "How are people not watching the first place Diamondbacks?" Which is crazy to me too. But
how much are tickets?
they're not that bad, dude. Compared to the national average, they're pretty low still. So it's good tickets can cost you about $40. Take the family, it's going to cost you $200 easy.
I mean, I guess that's better than like going to a Suns game that's like super expensive. That's like $200 a ticket, right?
Yeah.
For regular season, and then I don't know how much Cardinals are going to be. They should not be expensive this year. Sorry to circle back to the Cardinals, but they should not be expensive.
They'll be expensive because they know that they'll be able to get it.
That's so crap, man. If you to watch a slaughter, F that.
That's why I'm not going to the games.
I had zero desire to go to a Cardinals game this year, but to go back on the Diamondbacks, I would like to go to some Diamondbacks games.
No, they're fun. They're a lot of fun. Baseball games are fun.
If there's a good chance that they'll win, I'll probably go. They're a winning team.
Well, I don't know if I'd go to a team that I know they're going to beat. I'd rather go watch them play a good team.
Well, sure. I mean, I'll go when I'm available.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not always that available.
Yeah, and they play every weekend, so pretty much at home every other weekend or something.
No, that's something we should plan.
Yeah, everyone should check them out. It's good stuff.
Anything else on the Diamondbacks? I mean, we should follow them more throughout the season.
No, that's pretty much it for the Dbacks. What else is up?
We already talked about here we go.
Speaking of expensive tickets.
So we're going to move away from local Arizona sports
to football.
Or soccer.
Well, Americans call it soccer. Everyone else in the world calls it football.
American soccer.
What do they use to move the ball? Oh, their foot. So they call it football. It's pretty smart.
Yeah.
Why would you call football and NFL football? You would never think. People would ask, some people ask me.
Well, when they were first creating football, did they not think, hey, there's already a sport called football? And we're going to call this one football? So, I mean, if you could rename it, what would it be?
You can't rename it. It's gone too far. But I think it was more of they didn't know about football, soccer.
They didn't know about soccer?
They didn't know
about
How
could you not? Everyone's an immigrant.
I'm trying to make an excuse for the NFL and help them out.
How old is soccer / real football?
About 100 years, 200 years.
So it's been out.
It's been out, you're right.
For a while.
But it hasn't super famous. So a lot of immigrants that come here probably didn't know about football, soccer. And then they got accustomed here, and then they're immigrant. I don't know.
That's interesting.
Very interesting.
How'd you miss that? How'd you miss that?
But it's almost how did you miss that? Mm-hmm. But anyways, back to Messi. Lionel Messi, arguably the best football / soccer player in the world. 35 years old. He's going to come to the MLS, a league that just sucks. I'm sorry if you're an MLS fan. You must be an MLS fan before watching Premier League or any La Liga or any of the European leagues, because European leagues, they got it right. They have a thing called relegation, right? If you suck, you are gone, and if you're good, you get promoted. We don't have that in America, because in America you have the worst team. You're just worse, and you go buy yourself out of last place. That's what Miami is. Miami is the worst MLS team in their division. Pretty bad. Mm-hmm. And they're bringing Messi in this crazy contract. Messi was offered $1.6 billion to play in Saudi Arabia. $1.6 billion. With a B, not an M.
Oh my goodness.
Think about that. So they went out there and checked it out, and his wife was like, no.
Why? Why not Saudi Arabia?
Think about it.
What? I'm pretty sure they treat women like royalty in Saudi Arabia.
Compared to where they wanted to be, language barrier and all that, they wanted to be somewhere comfortable. So they were thinking about going back to Spain, Barcelona. Barcelona can't give him what he wanted. Miami is going to pay him $50 to $60 million a year, right? And they're like, what? That's it?
Spanish-speaking culture there?
Yeah, 100%. That's exactly why. So they traveled to Miami, which I thought was kind of weird. It was first time ever 2 years ago is what I read. Mm-hmm. His wife loved it there. They're like, a lot of people speak Spanish. It's beautiful.
Beaches.
They bought properties. Mm-hmm. They bought that's the writing on the wall. They bought a luxury apartment there. And when I say apartment, it's like a freaking mansion compared to what we have, right? And it overlooks beaches, and it's in the city, and it's beautiful. That's not where the deal ends, right? Mm-hmm. He's also going to get a percentage of ticket sales from the MLS.
Oh, wow.
He's also going to get revenue from MLS streaming the games, through Apple. So Apple is going to be giving him a stream of revenue as well.
So wait. He's not getting money just from team.
No, he's getting the money from the team, but this is addition too.
But all of the league.
Oh, ticket sales from all the teams that they play.
Oh, that they play.
Yes.
Okay, I thought you said like the entire.
I don't know. Maybe it's the whole league. If it's the whole league, that's pretty crazy. But ticket sales for every game. Now, we'll get back to the ticket sales in a second. I want to get done with Apple. So he's going to get revenue from Apple streaming rights, like a percentage. Not a lot, but enough to like make it ludicrous. Crazy. He's also signing a new deal with Adidas. And now the team has to wear Adidas jerseys, right? So he's getting a big shoe deal from Adidas, but not money. It's another Michael Jordan / type of shoe deal. He's going to get a percentage, and they're going to create a shoe line, the Messi Adidas shoe line. Think about that. He might be he's going to be the first soccer player to have a legacy line, where he's going to have not just a cleat, but a luxury shoe as well. How cool is that? That's potentially $1 billion deal in itself.
That's crazy. That's crazy money. Because I thought they did something with David Beckham, like they gave him $500 million.
Beckham had the same kind of deal. That's why Beckham made like a ton of money.
But
like
how come that did not take off?
Beckham's not Messi.
I mean, how is Messi going to be different then?
Messi has the credentials. He's the best player ever. Has the most goals.
He just won the
World Cup.
Beckham's
never won the World Cup.
Yeah. Oh, is that right?
And then and there's a thing called the Champions League. Mm-hmm. Beckham's never won a ton of those. He won a couple, but not a ton. But Messi. Mm-hmm. There's the MVP, the Ballon d'Or. I don't think Beckham's ever gotten a Ballon d'Or. Messi has like 7, 8, or 9.
Oh my goodness.
And that's for like the best player in all the leagues, not just his league. All the leagues, on top of all the awards he gets for his league. Beckham didn't get all the awards in just his league. Mm-hmm. This dude crushed it, and I guess Beckham gave Messi half of his ownership interest of Miami. So Beckham owned 10%, and he gave 5% of it to Messi to come there. Obviously, Beckham, there's something in it for Beckham, right? Mm-hmm. He has a backdoor deal or something for bringing Messi in, but that's crazy. Messi, and we're going to go back to the ticket sales because my son goes, hey, Dad, Messi's coming here. You said if he comes here, we're going to go watch a game. I was like, okay, let's go watch a game and see the ticket sales. Kid you not, LAFC, which is our favorite MLS team, we just picked a team, a favorite team to watch. LAFC is our favorite team. My cousin, Caesar, has season tickets, him and his family. Pretty cool. Kid you not, before Messi was announced, tickets were about $100, like for good seats. Like I was like, yeah, dude, well, splurge, get 4 real good seats for like $100 each. It's like $1,400 today.
Oh my god!
Today, $1,400 to $1,800
to see one player.
And what if he's not playing?
Oh, I know. Oh my god, I'd be so pissed.
Think about like the NBA when all these kids are like, oh, I want to see LeBron play. He's coming to town and he doesn't play. Mm-hmm. I hate that. Oh, he's taking a day off. No, take a day off when you're in your city. Don't take a day off when people are paying to come watch you play. Like Messi's a big like.
So, do they play against Phoenix here?
No, Phoenix doesn't have a team.
Okay.
The Rising is like second level.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Dang. So the closest city we'd have to watch is LA.
Yeah.
Oh man.
LA has 2 teams, the Galaxy and LAFC.
Okay, so there's just that's expensive.
Oh, because it's like $100, like for some games. Some tickets are $80 still on their schedule. But when Miami comes to LA, it's like $1,400 for those same tickets, and I'm like, holy shit, no, because now I'm gambling that I'm gonna pay. Even if I wanted to pay that, I'm gambling on the fact that Messi might not play. Mm-hmm. What if he gets hurt, stubs his toe in practice?
Well, Messi could be the player that people get interested in. They want to see him, but he can also help rise new players, right? It's just kind of like how people got interested in other sports. Like they followed this one awesome player like a Jordan, and he plays against other good players that just gets to his level. And then, but that player is in their local home team, so people want to follow them. It's just like has this ripple effect.
Well, Messi's that guy for me. He's a great dude. He's a great player. He's a great family man. 35.
So how much longer does he have?
He can play till well. That's the thing too. Like soccer players, once you hit like 37, there's some playing at 39 that aren't as good. Messi's 35. But there's people like Zlatan, who is 41 and is still doing pretty good. You know, so Messi could play the next World Cup. His contract is on purpose 3.5 years, so he can play in the next World Cup and didn't walk away. Which, think about it, the next World Cup is here in the States. So he'll be here in the States. He'll bring awareness. You know, MLS is not ever going to be the same as, you know, these other teams. You know, Saudi Arabia right now is trying to create a super league and getting all these players to come and paying them crazy amount of money, $200 million, come play over here, and they're trying to take some stars away from the other leagues. I see Saudi Arabia doing it before the U.S. just because they're getting real talent and they're following the same, you know, relegation and promotions as the other leagues. MLS isn't doing that. You know,
what's required for the U.S. to have real talent? Is it just like have stronger college teams?
Well, it's not really that. They just need there needs to be more money. See, in other countries, you don't have baseball, football, basketball taken away from the sport and from the fans, right? You come to America, you have all kinds of things you can watch. You know, you don't have to be stuck watching soccer. You can be like, you know what, I'm going to watch the baseball game. You know what, I'm going to watch the football game. We have NFL. NFL's, I hate to say it, it's exciting. It's once a week. It's you get emotional watching it, and it's big. But for soccer, it's like, yeah, you know, it's hard to bring fans in. Everyone's like, oh, it's so slow, it's so slow. It is if you're not into it. If you understand the sport, it's like chess, right? It's not checkers. It's, you know, everyone wants points now, this and that. In soccer, like, it's an emotional sport.
NFL gets 2 points. Basketball gets a lot of points. But hockey isn't. You know, it's low scoring. So it's the back and forth that you have to appreciate.
Correct. Soccer's the same way. It's a lot of back and forth, and it's basically setting up for an attack. You know, I've learned to appreciate this sport. I love watching Premier League. That's my favorite league to watch. I follow Barcelona as my favorite team to watch. They play in La Liga. That's a good league as well. But like England has a bunch of good teams. You know, I love watching Manchester United. Man City just won the Champions League last week or the week before. So they're number one team right now, which is amazing. But that's where soccer is. You watch the European leagues compared to MLS, completely different game. Completely. They're trying here in America to make it exciting and this and that. And I tell people, if you want to watch something, go watch an LAFC game. You know, there's a thing on Hulu or Amazon Prime on LAFC. Pretty cool to see. Will Ferrell is part owners of the team.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So, and then you watch like Ryan Reynolds just bought a team, the Wrexham team in England. Pretty cool to watch. That's another show on, I think it's Prime. I definitely watch it because it's really educational to see how much love there is for that sport in those countries. But going back to Messi, I mean, he's still he might make more money and have a better life. Miami's his new home. Him and his wife said, this is where we want to retire. Wow. This is it for him. They're not kidding when they say this is where I want to be. But here's another thing with Messi. He's bringing his boys with him. He's going to get some players come here that he like Luis Suarez is another player that might come to Miami. Good player. He's a little older, so he's not as great, but you don't need that. If you come into MLS, he's going to crush it. Messi's going to crush it. I heard rumors that Di Marina is going to come here. He's going to crush it. He's a teammate of Messi in Argentina. He's real good. He's going to do good. If all his boys come here, Miami's going to be a different team, and they might run the table. They might go from worst to first and surprise everybody. That team is going to be like awesome to watch if all those guys come here. Like those are like international superstars that are going to come to MLS at one time. It's pretty crazy. It's a lot bigger than Beckham, I'll tell you that. Or Wayne Rooney when Wayne Rooney came.
So a lot of international viewership, a lot of Europe, definitely a lot of South America
Well,
or Latin America.
Latin America's going to watch the heck out of those games because you're going to get a lot of fans. A lot of people love Messi, and they're going to follow Miami. So you're going to see Miami wins completely because they're going to sell merchandise. I mean, crap, we're going to buy jerseys. They're black and pink. You're going to see that black and pink everywhere in Latin America. Watch. They're going to follow Miami. So Miami has a big reach. Their team's going to Inter Miami's the team. They're going to have a lot of fans now all over. Not just Miami, not just the U.S., not just Latin America, but maybe some European people will watch because a lot of people respect Messi. Arguably the best player. Him and Ronaldo are the two best players I've ever seen.
Where can you watch it?
So since he's getting revenue shares with Apple TV's getting the rights to all the games.
So you have to have Apple TV to watch the games.
Apple TV to watch those games. It might be a couple games here and there on YouTube TV, and I don't see why. I don't know. Oh, no, I think they'll be on Apple since Apple has the rights now. I think they would black out ESPN and all them. You would think. I don't know. That's a good question. You would think ESPN would be able to get a game or two or something, or somehow do a partnership with Apple. But yeah, it's time to get that Apple subscription here pretty soon.
Anything else on
That's
Messi?
it. Messi's the man. Everyone watch him play.
You want to talk about this?
This sucks. Pull it up. This is sad and it sucks because as a dad, it's bad enough that this happens, but to say how, I think that's like a total privacy thing. But when you're an athlete, when you're famous, and something like this happens, it doesn't stay quiet. And it sucks. I feel for him. I'm a big Ray Lewis fan. I have his jersey in my closet. I think he's a stud. If a lot of people don't know, Ray Lewis's son, Ray Lewis III, died of a suspected overdose. I think it was 28. That's got to be so hard. And the fact that the whole world knows, that's hard.
That's really hard. Yeah, it showed his age, 28. But man, overdose. I mean, what was it that he overdosed on? Opiate overdose, antidote, naloxone. What the hell is that? Is that? Do you see that here?
No. Opioid endorse antidote. I don't know. It's probably some new drug.
Is that like fentanyl or something close to fentanyl?
It would say fentanyl.
Yeah, it would say fentanyl, huh? So, I mean, just party drugs. Like, man, 28 doing hard drugs like that. I mean, gosh, dang it, man. When you have a future and whatnot.
Not just that. When you're the son of Ray Lewis, and you, I mean, do you think it was pressure to live up to your dad's name?
Oh, I'm sure
A
there's
little bit.
pressure. Because Ray Lewis is a beast.
But I don't think I mean, it's pressure on yourself. I don't think your dad cares. Because your dad made so much money, he's going to make sure you're taken care of.
Yeah, exactly. But, man, to live up to it.
Kind of like Jordan. Like, his kids sucked at basketball.
They tried, though, right?
They tried. They just weren't as good. But guess what? They run the empire. They're making really good money. I mean, one of them's even got Scottie Pippen's ex-wife as a girlfriend, which is pretty crazy to me. You see, Scottie Pippen was like, "Oh, Michael," and it's like a Hall of Fame speech. You're the best player ever, and this and that. And now he's singing a different tune. Oh no, LeBron's better. Yeah, LeBron's.
Oh really?
It's because LeBron's not with your ex, dude. That's why.
Oh yeah. Because I've been seeing Scottie Pippen has been saying a lot more negative things towards
hating on Michael Jordan. Win one on your own, Scottie, and then come back and talk. So I don't buy into that. He was a good player too, but he's just mad.
Rest in peace, Ray Lewis.
Yep, the third.
Let's see. Do we want to talk about?
I'll let you talk about this one, but this one's crazy.
Let's see. Should I put one of the news talking about this? So what I'm going to be pulling up soon is
play the clip of what I mean. Everyone's probably already seen it unless you live under a rock, pretty much, right? Like you've had to have seen this.
Yeah, I'll just play this.
Yeah.
So it's a UFO
The most
sighting.
compelling and incredible UFO.
Look at that. Look at that.
So yeah, this UFO.
Look at that. It's like green.
Yeah, UFO sighting in Las Vegas.
Look at that. They're talking to that guy. The cops are talking to that guy, and it's on the guy's. Wow.
It's so crazy. And then they had people calling in like, dude, there is like an 8 to 10 foot kind of human being in our backyard creeping us out right now. Like something landed here. Let's see, there's more footage.
But that's insane.
Let me scroll through this stuff. I mean, they talked to the family. The one is the cell phone footage. Like they're kind of like genuinely petrified of what's going on. So let me.
Well, they're scared. They're like, what the hell? Like right here, like the family's like, what's back there? And it's right behind the fence. There's one of them right behind the fence, supposedly. Can you imagine if something like gnawed off his hand right there? Mm-hmm. Like a scary movie. So obviously there's aliens. NASA's saying, oh, you know what? Yeah, there's aliens. Like right here, those aliens should have just ate those guys up. Does he have a gun? He has a gun. That dude has a gun. He's genuinely scared. He has a gun. Look, why is that dude running? Dude, these dudes are scared. That guy has a gun. Why are you scared of? These dudes are scared.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going in the backyard. I haven't seen this video. Holy cow. This is that dude's scared. He's like, I am shitting my pants. He has a gun too. These guys are locked and loaded.
It's hard to see them too because it's cell phone footage, right?
Yeah.
So it's gonna be grainy as hell because it's at night. It's kind of
right here in the golf cart is where they're saying, or the tractor, whatever it is behind the truck is what they're saying that one of them was in.
Mm-hmm. It's hard to see like the whole thing. But yeah, it is. Do you think it's just alien tourists? I think it's alien tourists who just screwed up and like, hey, we need to get out of here. we're somewhere we're not supposed to be, and we've been compromised. Please pick us up.
Yeah, tourists are they're on a mission, and something happened. They might have hit a satellite or something, and their ship malfunctioned. Because they show footage of like a circular landing spot the day after.
That one can be argued. Like, was it really?
We can't argue these three guys are scared.
Sure, they're genuinely scared, but they could just be scared of anything. But I mean, they kind of have like this here. Although this footage is a little difficult to see.
But you have guns. You have all of you. There's three dudes with guns.
But you don't know if your guns is worth anything against these supposedly extraterrestrial beings. You can barely see on the middle left. They're kind of not looking at them. They're looking on away up in the sky. Right there, right? You see, like, it looks like two people, right? There's one head, and there's one right in front of them. They kind of blink, I guess, with their reflective eyes. So you see it blink.
Yeah.
They're looking. They're not looking at them. They're looking at something.
That's so crazy. So if they're 8 to 10 feet tall,
let me take this off.
They're a lot bigger than us.
Supposedly, who's to say that's not an exosuit? Right? It could be anything.
What if they're like the size of a peanut?
It could be a cyborg thing. Like, who's to say it's like the actual living thing? It could be like a robot that's very fluid in humanoid movements.
Yeah.
But it's exactly like anything else, so it's humanoid. So it makes me skeptical. It's like, could it just be like a clone that China made to go out to do recon missions?
Like, but more and more stuff is happening. Remember, we just had them like over the Marine base. They had over 29 Palms. They had those lights.
We talked about that. The lights. It's very similar to the Phoenix lights. Too,
exactly. But it's like it's all happening relatively so close to each other.
We're seeing it more and more, which is interesting because unfortunately cell phone video sucks. Like, try to take even in broad daylight, try to get a good picture of a plane flying by. It's still not going to be good quality. The lens is still tiny.
Yeah.
But especially at night, you're not going to get anything. It's just going to be like a blur. Your eyes are going to be better at night, of course, seeing whatever craft you see out there. But this that went on with the whole backyard situation, I think it's just like if me being skeptical, it could be a coincidence that it's just some people are in suits trying to do something. They got compromised. They screwed up. It could be extraterrestrial. Like maybe they're tourists.
It has to be extraterrestrial.
I don't know.
That light. How are you going to argue that light? How are you going to argue that green light the cops saw?
The green light could be
And the
anything.
crash. But it made a crash sound.
Like it could. I mean, it could easily go just enough out of the atmosphere. Like say China sent like a probe or like a small craft out in the atmosphere, and it's going to come down with that generated heat, right? That like a meteor will look like that. When satellites fall, they all look like that. So it makes a crash sound. Okay, I get that. It could be just any our other adversaries. I keep saying China, but it could be Russia. It could be anyone else, right? They could be in extraterrestrial suits that have very advanced camouflage technology. And they probably just went over, they screwed up, something malfunctioned, they crashed, and like, hey, we need to get picked up.
Yeah.
Maybe they have a technology. Because if I was the U.S. government, of course they're trying to hide this. They're not going to admit, like, we don't know, because then that's what their adversaries would want.
Yeah.
Like, we want, like, oh, they don't know. Good, we can keep explaining this. We can keep messing with them. If I was, like, the U.S. government, like, National Defense, Secretary of National Defense, I would not admit, like, oh, we don't know what it is. That's exactly what your enemies would want. So I understand that we're not going to get the full answers from the government. We never will.
No, you never get the real answers. But another point is like what you made last time we talked about aliens. Like we wouldn't be able to interact with them. I can't even interact with my dog, and we've been around dogs forever. And if you can't interact with that, how the hell are you going to interact with an alien?
No.
We think they're going to know our language? No. Or sign language?
It's so mighty hubris of us to think that. Like, we're going to have a full-scale communication method with extraterrestrial beings. The next smartest being on this planet is what? The dolphin?
Dolphins.
We can't
Next
even talk to
smartest?
them.
They're arguably smarter.
We can't even talk to them.
Yeah.
So what makes us think that we can talk to an extraterrestrial being?
Well, like I said, we can't even talk to our dogs or cats. They just go off of our mannerisms and, what.
But yeah, I mean, it's exciting. The whole UFO thing. We're getting more and more of it.
Exciting and scary at the same time.
I mean, is it scary?
Yeah. If it's real, like think about it. Aliens. Think of the worst thing that, oh look, we found a planet full of resources. Why wouldn't they come and enslave us?
Maybe it's not in their nature.
Yeah.
Maybe only humanity has that in our nature.
Or they have something worse.
Could be worse, could be better. Because maybe they don't have a violent side. Maybe they just want to genuinely explore.
Probe us.
Why would they probe us? I mean that's a thing, right? Probe.
Yeah.
I don't know if that started out as a joke or if it actually happened. Or if it could just be a terrible sleep paralysis or a traumatizing experience someone went through, right? Like they thought they were abducted, but maybe it was reality. They were abducted by people in costumes. And they drugged them up.
Yeah, who knows?
I mean, it could be. There's so many possibilities, but I think that this is not 100% believe that it's extraterrestrial. I think this is still exosuit with advanced technology by adversaries. And they're probably like, okay, we screwed up. Something malfunctioned. Please pick us up. Plan B, please.
I think it could be aliens.
It's hubris of us to think that it's two-eyed.
Yeah.
It has arms, legs, very humanoid.
I mean, him saying, "Oh, these guys are 8 to 10 feet." You're right. It could be like some kind of suit.
Exosuit type thing.
But that's high, that's really advanced technology.
Some people, I mean, I've heard people say that aliens still live among us. They just have the technology to be completely transparent, completely camouflage. Like we can't even see them with our naked eye. We have to use like infrared vision or something to really spot them out, which is fascinating. Like they just say that they come here, maybe to harvest a resource and leave or something.
Or spy on us. See if, like you said, we're worth entering into the galactic
governance or some kind like that.
Empire.
Yeah, I've had that theory. Like they're monitoring us. Like, do we really want these primitive monkeys to expand out into our galaxy? Because if anything, they're very manipulative. They're going to choose to get us on our side to take
Yeah.
out their adversaries. They're not united whatsoever.
True.
They're divided. Why
True.
do we want them? They're just going to bring war and havoc to the galaxy. And you can have another argument point like, or they're evolving so fast and their intelligence is moving so fast that they could probably answer many of the mysteries of the universe that we still can't answer.
Correct.
So keep them around. Maybe they'll have the answers one day. But it's always fascinating stuff. All right, you're yawning over there, so let's move on to another topic. All right, you wanted to talk about this, so let me just pull it up. Go ahead and talk about this.
What are we talking about? Oh, Mic Drop Mania. Mic Drop Mania. So this is a place in Chandler. We went, I think, Friday night, right off of Boston and Arizona Avenue on the southeast corner. Very, very interesting. Really roomy. Man, I was not expecting what we saw. Yeah, you know, I went to the Gilbert one. It's like a small little Gilbert show. And it was funny. It was all right. You know, these stand-up comics, they brought in one by one. We went here. It was sketch comedy. Like, they had a team.
That's cool.
And I was like, okay, I'll give this a shot. I tell you, I was laughing so hard my cheekbones right here were hurting. It was hilarious. The owner, I think is Dave, tall drink of water, but he was hilarious. He was hilarious. I definitely think if you're in Chandler, you gotta take it. You want some entertainment and you're tired of movies, this and that, you gotta go. It's hilarious. They have good food. They have a lot of drinks. They have tacos, and you know what? For someone like me who eats tacos like 3 times a week, they were good. 3 carne asada tacos, delicious. Their drinks were pretty good. But dude, I highly recommend going. I'm telling you, we took another couple with us, my buddy Dan and his wife. Dude, we laughed our ass off. Like we talked about it afterwards. Like, how funny was that show? You know, and we are definitely going to do it again because it's a local business. You got to support local businesses, but they were great. And I'm telling you, you and your girlfriend need to go. It's hilarious.
Yeah, because I feel like that's a place you can just show up, right?
Yeah, you can just show up and buy tickets. Yeah, honestly, you just show up, buy tickets. It's a lot of room in there. It's very enjoyable. You can go. You can go have dinner and then go check out a show, or you can eat there, which is not bad. You know, their food is pretty good. So definitely recommend Mic Drop. Really good place. Take a look, man. Look at their upcoming schedule. Get some tickets. Show them some love because they were definitely entertaining.
Right.
Definitely got our money's worth.
We're kind of running out of time.
Yes, we are.
So should we just go straight to movie review?
Let's go ahead. You give yours first.
We're going to do a
Non-spoiler.
non-spoiler section. And after we've talked about it, because we've both seen the movie, we're going to have a spoiler section with a special guest, Sean. So that will be incorporated later when you see him on. But right now, we're just going to talk about the movie, what we thought about it, if it's worth watching in theaters or whatnot. So we're talking about The Flash. I don't know if I should just put a little thing, a graphic, but we're talking about The Flash that just came out in theaters. I'll go first. I thought the movie was a lot of fun. Story-wise, good start.
No spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilers, but good start.
They all die.
I failed to see how this could have been the movie that expands into James Gunn's universe. I guess I kind of see at the end. I don't know if the ending was kind of like a joke, or if that's how it's going to move forward. For the non-spoiler section, I can't say what it is, but it's obviously from what you saw in the trailers, he can go in time, right? He's messing things up, and then he's trying to correct it, and that's why you don't see these other characters. That's why we see Michael Keaton, the Batman version, because he went to his universe, and he's just doing all these other things. But yeah, I failed to see how when he went back that it's the new universe of how James Gunn's taking things over. Maybe it is. Maybe I missed something. Maybe someone in the comments could elaborate that more. Otherwise, very fun movie, very much nostalgic moments, right? We see it's kind of like a farewell for a lot of the key characters we saw before James Gunn, until he moves on to new actors who are filling these roles. There is an end credit scene.
At the very end.
Like, yeah, at the very end, like after the credits.
Don't give it away.
I'm not going to give it away, but I don't think it makes sense.
It doesn't make sense to me. It didn't make sense to me, but it's all right. I was expecting more, man. I just was. I think it's because this movie's been building up for so long, and I've been excited to watch The Flash and the multiverse and all these cameos that they're supposed to have in this movie and stuff. It didn't hit the level of excitement, right? Like, I went to Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Wasn't as excited, didn't have, it's just going to be another movie, and that was great, right? Great. But I think I screwed up with The Flash. I came in thinking it's going to be great, and it was good.
Yeah, there's some cameos. I might mention in the spoiler, but there were some cameos that when you saw the characters, it's like, cool, but, oh, that was it?
Yeah, I'm with you there. There's some that I was like, oh, that's cool, but
It
I want
didn't
more.
give me the farewell.
It didn't. No, it didn't. No, it was just like a ripoff, right? Like
They
that's
just
it.
showed up for a quick check or something. That was it.
That's it. That's all. That's all we're gonna get.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping. It was like more of a farewell because we know these actors are not going to play the same characters anymore.
But did you not think it was kind of a funny movie too? Like unexpectedly funny.
Oh yeah,
There's some
that
funny
wasn't.
parts.
It's not forced funny, like cringe funny. It was like genuinely funny. There's this good pace in the comedy section, good comedy relief. I like that.
No, the ending was great. Like
Yeah, before the credits, but the ending
before the
was
credits, like
amazing.
the ending was like, it was great. It's almost like it's worth watching. Here's something though, like for me, I thought Supergirl like kind of stole the show some thunder. I thought she did great.
I thought she did phenomenal. It's like, damn, like, because I know they were making the movie with her and they canceled it, and now it's like, she did a
Why?
great job.
She did awesome.
was
Like I
she
could
was-
see
she was
her in a
actually
movie.
Really good. Yeah, I was like, damn, I'd like to see her more.
Her acting was actually really good. Like her anger when she finds out a bit of information and she gets mad, like that's real. Like I like that. Like I was like, that is like that's real emotion. Without giving it away. If you stay for the spoiler because you watched it, we'll talk about it some more. And just an added bonus, she's hot.
Oh, sure. She's very attractive.
She's a very good-looking Supergirl.
She definitely sold me in as a Supergirl because I didn't. I went in with an open mind.
Not
when
me
I
at first. At first,
I was like,
who's this actress?
Yeah, yeah.
When they picked her and they showed her, and I was like, she's not going to do well.
I mean, yeah, because I was thinking when they canceled the movie, I was like, why are you bringing back the same person? I thought you were gonna just have someone else.
Correct. But then
Feels more like Supergirl.
you watch it and you see her acting, and you're like, okay, she's actually a pretty good actor. She has me sold. Did you know the original story for The Flash wasn't multiverse? They were gonna have Captain Boomerang in there and Reverse Flash, and then they changed it because they went through so many directors, and it was supposed to come out in 2020 or something like that, and like it kept getting pushed out. But I did like it. I really did like it. I just didn't love it. I think I just had high expectations. It was entertaining, but it wasn't. I think they could have gone a different avenue.
Is it worth going to the theaters for?
Oh yeah, yeah. You got it. For me, superhero movies like are best at the theater.
Oh, there's been some DC movies. I've been like, oh, I should not have came here for this.
Well,
I should
remember
have watched it on streaming services.
we saw Aquaman IMAX, and that was pretty good.
The first one.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, the second one hasn't come out yet.
yeah. That was good. That was a good one to watch. But tickets are getting expensive. Like $13 for a movie.
So I got mine online. Yeah, it was 13. Well, there was a processing fee. I hate these fees. It's a junk fee. We all know it's a junk fee.
It's a
to
high junk
reserve your
fee.
fee,
It's
right.
a high junk fee to reserve your seat, but
reserve your seat.
The Flash, you had to reserve it. You can't take a chance and get there and
Get
not.
there and then you'll be in front row. Yeah.
So that movie had to. Other movies that have been out for a couple weeks, like They have plenty of seats. We're fine. Let's go right now. We're good. I looked up the Flash, all these different shows. I probably picked out 2 theaters and different times for it, and they were going fast. And it was all like the end seats and stuff. And I got lucky at Chandler. And we have to get the ultimate rocker where, the seats come up so you can, lay out. That's like the best way to watch a movie. We went to a movie the other day at a different theater. I was thinking that all of them at Harkins are like that. And it wasn't like that at the Gilbert location or the one on Germain and Gilbert. I took my son. He's like, Dad, these don't rock. They rock back and forth, but they don't like let you lay back.
Oh yeah, because I went to the Harkins in Queen Creek. Yeah, it's like the old seats. Like you just sit down, or how they fold automatically, so you sit down and you rock a little bit. But it's not like what they have today, where it's like a reclining.
Yep, it rocks a little bit, but not. And they're bigger seats. They're bigger, comfortable seats, but they're not the ones that you're used to. That I'm used to going to Chandler Mall. That's where we go.
Do the tickets cost more at the Chandler Mall?
Because $1 more.
There's less capacity. That's why. Because you have those nice reclining chairs.
Leather. Nice leather. The other rockers were like the foam. But, it's fine. But I'd rather be able to kick my feet up and just relax.
Yeah, it kind of has like a home experience
to
it.
Oh, big time. And it was packed. I took my son, and he's like, Dad, it's so full in here. I'm like, yeah, it's the first weekend. Every seat was taken. Yeah, it was cool, but it was fun.
But yeah, 4 more minutes. I like the movie a lot. Yeah, like you said, it's not great. There was some. I did come in with high expectations because I thought this was supposed to be the movie that changes everything. That's why we're going into James Gunn's universe of it. I mean, did I miss something? Did I read that wrong? We'll probably ask Sean here in a bit, but I thought that was supposed to be like, this is what changes everything. This is what sets forward of what we can expect now from James Gunn's universe.
I don't think Ezra Miller comes back.
As Flash?
Yeah.
Oof, I don't know.
And why are you doing an Aquaman 2? Or are you just finishing the slate? Because James Gunn said he's starting over with Superman. That is what's going to start the James Gunn clock.
Right. Okay, because Blue Beetle doesn't.
Blue Beetle's not on his watch. That was already in production before. So Blue Beetle's already doomed.
I did not, because that actor, I have high hopes for that actor.
That trailer looks good. And here's the thing with Blue Beetle. Think about it. When Iron Man came out, I never cared about Iron Man as a kid. Never. What, this guy built out of iron? No, like he's like the least favorite. He was there like next to Hawkman. Why can't I think of his name? Because he's so irrelevant in Marvel Comics. The guy who shoots the arrows in the Avengers.
Nighthawk, I think it is.
Something like that. He was exactly. I don't even know his name. He was
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye. He's right there with Hawkeye. Like no one cares. Everyone wants Captain America and the Hulk were the 2 big Avengers and Thor. But Iron Man arguably is like the coolest Avenger. He has the coolest toys. So with today's technology, Blue Beetle could be that for DC.
He's a mix of Spider-Man and Iron Man.
Yeah. He looks pretty dope. And if you think about it, kind of like Green Lantern, because the computer that says whatever you think I can create, and he can like create all kinds of weapons and stuff. I'm actually looking forward to that movie. Like, no kidding. I think that's going to be legit.
What's his name again? Is it
I'll let you screw that one up.
It's Zolo?
Yeah.
Marinduna?
Zolo Mariduna. He's in Cobra Kai.
Yeah,
you seen Cobra Kai?
Yeah, Cobra Kai. Except the last season. I'm
great show. My kids love it.
Cobra Kai's great. No, but I am excited for that actor. I mean, see him as Blue Beetle, so that's gonna be cool. Hopefully they carry on the franchise, or are they gonna do a thing where it's just like different universes of DC? That's why they can't incorporate all of them like the way Marvel has done. But then James Gunn came from Marvel, where they incorporated all the characters, right?
Yeah, but Eternals aren't incorporated in Marvel.
But they were around for the whole Thanos thing, and they explained why
that's true.
I think they're just gonna do away with them. I don't know.
I don't know. We'll see what happens to him. But I definitely think Blue Beetle would be fun kid, family friendly. But man, I just saw the numbers for Shazam, Fury of the Gods. It's so bad.
Yeah.
So and then supposedly the Flash is doing bad.
Really?
Yeah, look up not IMDb, but box office numbers for the Flash. Just because we're on it right now, if it doesn't make 100 million first weekend, that is bad. 60 million.
Well, the weekend's not over.
It pretty much is. Like they already know like how many tickets are going to be sold today, based off of Saturday.
Interesting.
Dude, it won't even make 70 million.
How much did they spend on this movie? Like 150 or something like that?
Way more than 150.
Interesting.
Dude,
Ooh, the Flash disappoints with 55 million debut.
that's not good.
That's not good, unfortunately.
That's really bad. They needed to double that. That's not good because the second week's not going to be as good. Obviously, there's a big drop off from week 1 to week 2. Oh, that sucks. Well, and then James Gunn's like, it wasn't my movie,
That's true.
so you can be like, see, this is why we're changing everything. So that means Aquaman 2 is going to be doomed
Yeah, because he's not. Because
because Arthur Curry's not coming back.
who's Jason Momoa?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm forgetting people's names. He's not. He might play another character,
He's playing Lobo,
Lobo.
which is in Superman.
Yeah, but he's no longer gonna be the Aquaman. So they might just. I don't know. What do you do with Aquaman 2? I mean, it's done. Like,
Oh, it's over. It's good. Well, here's the problem. Do you remember Wonder Woman when it came out? It made a ton of money,
right.
and it was like, holy cow, we have something here. Did you know how bad Wonder Woman 2 bombed?
Was it the 1984?
Yeah,
How bad?
like
Super bad?
super bad. So bad that they said we're not doing a third.
Because I remember watching 1984. I was like, this movie does suck.
It was lame. It was such bad
It's kind of
writing.
stupid bad writing. It was
It's
really
such
lazy
bad writing. Correct.
The actress isn't. I hate to say she's not that good. When I was rewatching like Batman versus Superman and Justice League, I was like, she's kind of.
They all got their money. They're done.
She's a very beautiful woman, but her acting was not for Wonder Woman. I'm sure they could find another Wonder Woman. just
She,
fine.
she didn't sell me as Wonder Woman.
I feel like they could make a whole universe of the Amazonians.
Oh yeah.
They have a really good story. It's pretty good.
Oh yeah.
But anything else before we get a hold of Sean?
Nope. Let's
All right,
go
we're
ahead.
gonna
and
move over to our spoiler section of this for The Flash. So if you like The Flash, really enjoyed it, stay tuned for that.
Boom.
Hello.
Hey, there he is. Today we have Sean McNally on the McNally Minute. This is where Sean gives us 60 seconds of a movie review, and then he's kapoots. Just kidding. But Sean, thank you for
Like a
taking time.
minute. You don't know me very well.
Thank you for taking time to jump on the movie review with us here, and we want to hear from you about The Flash and what you think, what you thought about it, nuts and bolts. This is the spoiler part, so you can give away whatever you want. And before you answer that, just tell us when you saw it and then go from there.
So I was actually really lucky. I actually got to see an advanced screening back on June 6th. So I got to see this like 10 days before the theatrical release for everybody else. So it was nice. As far as what I thought the movie was fun. It was good. Not great. A lot of people liked it a lot. I actually read a guy earlier today who said it's in his top 5 movies of all time. I respectfully disagree.
Big time.
That's okay. Everyone has their opinion. It's just not mine. But yeah, I mean, it's fine. It really, to kind of get into the nuts and bolts, for me, the movie was just kind of just a lot of fan service. It kind of relied on it far too much. The idea that DC basically kind of took into this one, I think, was the idea of trying to make it kind of their version of Spider-Man No Way Home, and trying to make it, No Way Home, and trying to make it so that they could kind of be their fan service movie, kind of the crowd pleaser, if you will. I liked the swing. I thought the movie was fun. Like I said, I just don't think it was very good. I don't think that it really did a whole lot necessarily, considering the fact that this movie had all of the different issues in post production that it did. I'm not sure if you guys have mentioned this or not, because obviously I don't get to see your review prior to me recording, but for me, it's an issue of the movie itself has actually had 3 different endings filmed at this point. That just kind of tells you everything you basically need to know. There's always going to be reshoots. Reshoots are just a part of modern filmmaking. That's normal completely. I don't expect any movie, especially a big movie like this, necessarily not to have reshoots. That's fine. But when you go back and reshoot a movie, not once, but twice, but 3 times, that's really an issue. And so I think it's kind of indicative of what we kind of saw in the final product, and that it felt kind of, half baked in certain ways. I think a big critique that a lot of people right now have is the fact that the special effects are not very good, or don't really look like that finished. I completely agree. They don't. But the fact is that at the end of the day, you know, it is what it is at this point. The movie's out. It is what it is. DC has obviously been, really, really, behind the ball in terms of the, arms race, if you will, for superhero movies and things over the last several years, 10 years almost now at this point. And while there are a lot of points I loved the opening sequence. I thought that opening sequence with Batman and the whole chase thing was a lot of fun. There are parts within that sequence that I didn't really enjoy all that much. I thought the whole baby thing was ridiculous. I thought it was stupid.
God, yes.
It just so dumb. But there are other parts that really kind of land. Let's address the issue here. Ezra Miller is a horrible human being. He has a lot of mental issues. There's no issue. There's no getting away from that. As far as his Barry Allen, I don't like his Barry Allen. I don't. I don't consider myself a Flash fan. I never have. Have I read Flash books in the past? Sure. Does he strike me as Barry Allen? No, he never has. I think Ezra Miller is a very talented actor. I remember the first movies I remember seeing him in, I think was Perks of Being a Wallflower is the first one that kind of comes to mind. Really, really wanted to like that movie. I thought that overall it was kind of a mixed bag. He wasn't really an issue. I think he's actually very talented. He has issues. And it looks like they're trying to address, they are trying to address. I don't want to use the proper pronouns here because I don't want to be that guy. But when it comes down to it, their performance was just not my thing. So, as far as the rest of the thing, let's be honest. I mean, the reason I was really excited to see this, and the reason that I wanted to see it, in that advanced screening where I had to get there like an hour and a half early before the movie started, was I wanted to see Batman. I think that's, for a lot of people, really kind of the big draw here. I don't think that, honestly, if Ezra Miller was the chief, draw here, that the movie would have made as much as it did. I really don't. It already underperformed expectations this weekend. But had it not had Michael Keaton, had it not had that additional component, I'm sorry, there's just no way that that people are going to go out in droves.
It would have bombed worse.
Yeah, exactly. It really would have bombed a lot worse. So here's the issue. Michael Keaton is awesome. A lot of people say he's the best Batman. It's debatable.
That's debatable.
I'm not gonna say he is. I'm not gonna say he isn't. I like him a lot. I remember seeing the first movie. You're about my age. I think you're
we're the same
actually
age.
just a couple months older. Yeah. He was our Batman. I was 10 when that movie came out. In the summer of Batman, when literally everywhere you turn there was a bat signal. We lived through that. It was great.
Prince had that song. It was always on the radio.
Bat Dance.
Yeah,
absolutely. I literally had Batman, and Joker also, high tops, canvas high tops, Chuck Taylor, Converse All Star, style shoes. I had the T-shirt. Okay, get this, for Christmas that year, 1989, I got a standee of Jack Nicholson that was 6 feet tall. So the cardboard standee, had it in the corner. It was awesome. I loved waking up every day and looking at Jack Nicholson. Was like the first thing I saw when I opened my eyes from my bunk bed. It freaked my mom out so many times when she'd walk into my room and suddenly it looks like there was a man
Silhouette of a man
in the corner. Freaked her out so many times, but I loved it. I loved Batman, and so for them to do what they did, which is really what they kind of based their entire movie around, which is fan service and nostalgia bombing. That's what they wanted to do. They accomplished their goal. The thing that made me laugh so hard about the way that this movie was done is the shoehorning of those bat catchphrases that got me. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Get nuts.
The way it's inserted in there,
yeah,
so bad. And so I remember seeing it in the trailer and thinking like, okay, so maybe just it's out of context, whatever. Maybe there's another line that kind of leads to it. Then when it actually happens in the movie, I just thought, oh my God, like really? yeah. I'm Batman. That one made a little.
That
bit
one
more
made a little
sense
because
yeah. But the whole you want to get nuts. Come on, man.
Well, break down real quick. Remember what he says when he comes out like a caveman, long hair. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? And he says, Gotham doesn't need me. It's one of the safest cities. Like,
yeah.
So you gave up working out or being, yourself. Like, there's no crime whatsoever. I mean.
Well, no, but I mean, if there's limited crime, then there's still Gotham Police. They can still take care of that. He doesn't have the rogues gallery that he has to deal with of the super villain criminal guys that he would typically have to fight.
And Alfred.
The thing that I love about this movie is the concept that Barry Allen has gone to this alternate timeline to obviously be in a timeline where his mother doesn't die. That's the whole crux of the film, and so many things that are better are improved and he wants to change them just because it's not the way it's supposed to be. It's not the way it's not the timeline that I'm from. And so we as the audience are supposed to kind of sign off on this whole concept as opposed to just saying, wait, hold on, let me get this straight. One of the worst, most crime-riddled cities on planet Earth with all these terrible, horrible villains like the Joker killing people willy-nilly, and suddenly we're supposed to get on board with him trying to change things so that he can go back to the other horrible Gotham City that he comes from. Well, reality with Gotham City, because obviously the Flash is from Gotham City, Batman is. But when it comes down to it, it's things like that. It's a fine movie. It's kind of hollow. It feels, again, very, very fan servicey. That's what they're really trying to do. That's what they're trying to hang their proverbial hat on. So, as far as the fun factor, I enjoyed myself. I was watching it. I liked it. Getting to the cameos. The end obviously has a huge amount of cameos. The one obviously with the initial, kind of chase sequence with Ben Affleck. You obviously see Gal Gadot. You see Henry Cavill. They filmed those when Henry Cavill has come back. Basically, when they told him he was going to be returning to Superman before they yanked his cape away again, which sucked. I felt bad for the guy. Those are fun. It's a cute little thing. And I still will say this. I think my favorite thing about Wonder Woman is that theme song. That theme song, so awesome. I need electric cello in my life. That's so good. But like, you see, it's like this little fun thing, whatever else. If you guys saw Shazam 2, Gal Gadot shows up in that at the end as well. Yep. So they're trying to go ahead and give the fans what they want, and I appreciate that. DC is trying, albeit really, really late to the game, they're trying to kind of make amends to their fan base because they screwed the proverbial pooch so hard.
And now
And
they're
they
rebooting.
have consistently. Yeah. Well, and this is the inevitable outcome. There was never what they tried to do with the whole, unite the four thing, with Justice League years ago now was so poorly thought out.
Poorly done here.
This movie, think about it. I mean, we're getting a Flash origin story, technically, at least a portion of it, at the end of the whole cycle. It's not the way it should work. This movie doesn't make sense in the story that they're trying to tell, especially when you consider the fact that if you want to come from a comic book standpoint, they're trying to tell a really, really severely abridged version of Flashpoint, which is, by the way, the single greatest Flash story there is. 100%. So, to do that, to kind of use that big, that big bullet, if you will, that big, I don't know, whatever, to try to kind of get butts in seats, you're kind of slitting your own throat, especially if you're going to end up, rebooting the entire universe, like obviously they're going to do with Peter Seraphine and James Gunn. So, I'm excited to see what James Gunn is going to do. James Gunn's already gone out on social media, which he tends to do a lot, and already said that the Blue Beetle is going to be the first film of the DCEU. This new,
it is.
It is. Yeah, he came out recently.
I thought you said Superman Legacy was.
Well, that's going to be the first official movie itself for the new reboot thing, like the first character they're going to have coming in. So essentially, if you will, if you want to use Marvel terminology, Phase 1 will start essentially with Blue Beetle.
And I hope that character grows. His whole.
I hope so from my perspective now, not seeing the film because it doesn't come out for another month or two. It looks like fun. I still I think I said it last time. Don't know if I did, but that line, that stinger line at the end of the trailer where he says, "Batman is a fascist," makes me laugh every time.
Yeah.
that's such a great line.
Hey, do you think that was a good farewell for the show? Or, I mean, for the characters?
No,
right? Wasn't
it's not. It's not, because ultimately we know these characters aren't going away. We're gonna see some of these characters, some of these actors not coming back. It doesn't look like we're probably going to see Ben Affleck come back. The best cameo, in my opinion, and the one that actually made me laugh the most, was the George Clooney reveal at the end.
Oh my gosh, I thought that was
the best part. That was amazing.
Who the F are you? I was
yeah. And he's just like, are you Batman? And he's like, dude, he's like,
dude.
And of course, George Clooney's already amazing. I'm one of those people that I would watch that guy do anything. So just the idea of him kind of coming back to the fold after going through what can only be considered an abject disaster with Batman and Robin, is so nice to see. And it's so much fun to see somebody like him who has always had a really, really good self-effacing kind of sense of humor, someone who's really, really fun, and understands and takes the piss out of himself all the time, to come back to this franchise in this role that he is infamous for, to kind of just say, you know what, all right, I'll have a little bit of fun. But it does go ahead and bring up an interesting concept. And again, I don't expect this to be the case, but if they wanted to do it, I'm totally 100% on board. Imagine if they were able to get George Clooney back into the fold to play the older Bruce Wayne in the Brave and the Bold, which, by the way, just got announced that the director of this, the Flash movie, is going to be directing the Brave and the Bold. If you're going to have an older, Bruce Wayne, and you're gonna have George Clooney do it, dude, you got my money. I mean,
it has to be I want it to be a John Wick style Batman, because the technology is there, and I think George Clooney can play that. But don't you want to see Michael Keaton first? Let him turn.
I love Michael Keaton. I love Michael Keaton. I think this movie was the last Michael Keaton appearance as Batman we're ever going to see. The thing that made me laugh, and the thing I could only continue to think about all the time, the entire time I was watching the movie, was watching this guy who did Birdman about 5-6 years ago at this point, and the concept of how that movie was completely making fun of the whole concept of what Michael Keaton obviously did in the first two Batman movies, and then coming in and kind of like putting back on the cape and the cowl and just being like, wow, this is really kind of odd. It really is. But I don't think so. I'm not against it if they do, if that's what they decided to do. But I will tell you right now, if I were to bet money on it, I don't bet that I'm going to see Michael Keaton, play Batman again, considering the fact also he is 73 years old. I don't think that's probably going to happen again. I think he's born in 1950, if I remember correctly. So
George,
around the same age.
I can go with George Clooney on that.
Yeah, George Clooney's great. If they want to do that whole thing. No, I will say this, and I've been saying this for a long time. I really, really like the idea of if they would do a Batman Beyond film and have him be Bruce Wayne, and then obviously introduce, the Batman Beyond character, Luis or whatever his name is. I forgot his name. He's a Latino character. And have him obviously kind of take the mantle, obviously, as Batman. Totally fine with that if they want to eventually do that. And I think that, being that, what's his name? George Clooney is, probably like 10 to 13 years, about 13 years, I think, younger than Michael Keaton, gives him a little bit longer kind of when it comes down to like that, that proverbial
And dude, George Clooney takes care of himself. Like he looked in great shape.
Oh, he's awesome. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, George Clooney, is still a leading man. He's not doing the same stuff he was doing 10 years ago, but yeah, he's certainly not gone away from the limelight or anything else. He's got a lot of stuff going on. So yeah, he looked great. It's a great idea. So I love that. A couple of the cameos when that whole thing happened where they did like the cameo bomb thing at the end.
Yep.
I mean, I saw it with a good friend of mine here who is a huge DC fan. Like he's a DC fan the way I'm a Marvel guy. I'm more of an X-Men guy. He is obsessed with all this stuff. So, he gasped when he saw like George Reeves and Christopher Reeve. And when, everything else happened. For me, the one that got me, of course, was I mean, I think you probably already know. It's gonna be what's his name showing up?
Nicolas Cage?
Nicolas Cage. I mean, when Nicolas Cage showed up with Superman Unchained, and they show him fighting the spider, which if you know that Kevin Smith story, that was like the best. That brought me more joy in that entire other movie had basically given me at that point.
Our fans don't know about that story, the Kevin Smith story. They don't know that there was a movie.
Yeah, so in a summation, real quick. So Kevin Smith was actually asked to go ahead and write a movie, a script for a Superman movie back in the 90s, and it was going to be called Superman Unchained. The guy who was producing it, I can't remember his name offhand. I'm sorry. I'm going to remember it when I leave, but I can't remember it right now. Had the rights and was producing the film, and the whole crux of the idea, the whole story of the movie was basically that Superman was going to be fighting Brainiac, which is a really cool idea. Some character that literally we've never seen on screen, which I thought was a great idea. I like Kevin Smith though, so I'm gonna like a lot of the stuff he does. Peter or something was the producer's name. Can't remember his name. Damn it. What basically he does is he gets into this room with the producer, and the producer's like, yeah, I'm really liking the idea, but I really, really want Superman to fight a spider. And he's like, a spider? Yeah, a big spider. So that, doesn't really go anywhere. The movie obviously doesn't happen. Production stops, whatever else. Kevin Smith, goes on to become Kevin Smith and do what Kevin Smith does. Yep. And then, of course, what gets produced next? Wild Wild West. And what's in Wild Wild West, folks?
Big spider.
A big spider. So it's just really, really it was a wink and a nod to the audience, and it was actually, in my opinion, probably the best part of the entire movie was probably that 8 seconds that we got in screen time for
Yeah, that was really
anybody.
cool. I did like that. But
Nicolas Cage sitting in there.
what did you think of the performance of that actress that played Supergirl?
I thought she was okay. I don't think they gave her anything to really work with, to be honest with you. They didn't really give her a lot. Um, she was fine. I'd like to see that character come back, to be honest with you. I think that anytime we have an opportunity to see a different version of a female superhero, I'm all for it. I've always been a big fan of female superheroes. It's always been something I've always really kind of responded well to. And I thought that the way that they treated the character was okay. I thought it was fine. They just didn't give her a lot.
Yeah.
What basically she is more of a plot device than anything else. Obviously, the whole, oh, okay, so we're gonna tie this into Man of Steel. That's what this whole movie is predicated on. And so, oh, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go find Superman. Well, of course, we get there and we don't find him. We find her. It's alternate timeline. The one thing that bothered me about the marketing of this film, and the thing that really annoyed me when I was watching the film itself, was this. And these are things that, had they just not shown it, it would have been surprising to the audience. It would have been surprising to me. I would have been more engaged because I would have been surprised, as opposed to just seeing, oh, they spoiled everything, basically. Aside from some cameos,
Yeah.
all the big reveals that should have been, oh my God, you're going to tell me that Michael Keaton's in this movie and he shows up? Oh my God!
That's a hard one to keep away from people.
Blown my mind. It is, but it can be done.
But it sells tickets.
That's the thing. But that's the whole thing. Here's the thing. You know what sells tickets better than anything? Quality.
True.
People go to see good movies. And yeah, it's nice to know, obviously, whatever else that, that Michael Keaton's going to be there and whatever else. But here's the thing. Had you done the movies the right way before, had you done this 8 years ago, however long it was when you did, Justice League or whatever it was, had you done it, you know what? I'm just going to say it. Had you just done what Marvel did, we wouldn't be in this issue. We wouldn't be in this problem. We wouldn't be in this predicament right now. That's the issue that DC did, was they just thought, you know what? Everyone knows these characters. We don't really have to go ahead and tell origin stories for anybody. No.
We want to see that.
Everyone knows Batman. I agree. I don't need to see the frickin' pearls one more time in my entire life, okay? In this or any other existence. I don't need to see Crime Alley, Martha and Thomas Wayne getting shot and killed by Joe Chill. Okay. I don't need that. We don't need that. No one wants to see that. But the fact is that, yeah, we do need a Barry Allen movie. We need a Flash origin story. We need to see that kind of thing. Now, they thought, well, they just ended 9 seasons of the Flash TV show. People know the story may be there. Maybe that's a thought. I don't know.
Yeah.
Guess what? I didn't watch The Flash. I've watched a few episodes of it. I don't care about The Flash. So as an average John Q. Public, movie fan, I'm not trying to watch, Grant Gustin as The Flash, as Barry Allen. So I didn't care. Yeah, do I know that origin story? I do, because I'm a comic book nerd. But the fact is that the majority of people don't. So why are you going to tell why are you going to wrap in the best story along with an origin story at the end of everything? It just doesn't make any gosh darn sense. It really doesn't. So that's always kind of been my problem with DC. As far as the post-credit scene, that thing with Arthur Curry with Aquaman was so dumb.
Yeah, I thought the
same. Did I laugh? Yes, I laughed because I think Jason Momoa is actually really funny. He's really charming. He's got a good personality. But good God, so dumb. Oh, I'm gonna sleep here. He's drunk in the puddle. It's oh my God. It's stuff like this that just shows what what not to do when it comes to making these types of movies. And that's the problem that I really had with The Flash, is that there's a movie here, but they just don't care. They don't show any reverence for a lot of stuff. And they don't really seem to have any real direction. And that's really always kind of been my problem with DC, is this whole idea that they can kind of play flat, fast, and loose with everything. And if anything that we've seen, Marvel has proven that people want an interconnected story. We like the interconnected. We like the Marvel cinematic universe. We like seeing, that kind of setup. There's nothing wrong with like a Guardians 3 or something that's kind of separate from the major overall storylines that are kind of being told. Those will still work, but they still want it within the overall framework of that universe. DC has basically said, well, we're going to have essentially two separate setups. We're going to have independent movies like Joker, which, don't get me started on Joker because we'll be here another 2 hours. But and then we're also going to go ahead and we're going to tell those kind of what they're calling Elseworld stories. And then we're going to have the main timeline, like this, where it's going to be, in the DC universe proper. You can't have it both ways. If you want to do the other stuff, you could always just make, an alternate timeline kind of thing. That being said, I don't know if I speak for you, but I think I speak for a lot of people when I say I am so flippin' tired of this alternate timeline bull. I'm so over
the multiverse. Yeah, I'm done with it.
I'm done. I'm done with the multiverse. I'll be the first to say I've never been a multiverse guy to begin with. Call me old fashioned, call me boring, whatever else. It's true. I like Earth 616 in Marvel. Just give me the regular run of the mill Marvel universe, and I don't need alternate timelines for other stuff. I don't need it. It's too freaking confusing. There's too much stuff going on. And then also, they're saying, oh, well, it allows people to tell an alternate story, or it's an onboarding point for new readers and stuff. Well, you know what? I came in the freaking 80s. I caught up. I'm cool. They make it easier now to go ahead and read that old stuff anyways with, Marvel Online and stuff. So you can get an idea of what's going on. You can read the internet and, look at Marvel Wiki or whatever else, and you can get an idea of what the context of a story itself is and not have to necessarily even completely read it. That's fine too. They just failed. They really, really did. So I'm welcoming the whole James Gunnification of it all. Tear it down, bring it something new. I like that idea at this point. I think he's gonna ultimately do what they should have done, X amount of years ago when this whole, Justice League fiasco happened, and I think that's really what it comes down to.
How much time do we have?
Yeah.
10 minutes.
Oh, perfect. Real quick, it's starting over. So it's like this whole timeline, all these characters, they're non-existent after this, right? That's the whole point of James Gunn doing his thing. Who do you see as Superman? Who do you see as Batman? Because I saw something for Batman, and I was like, interesting. No, Patterson's for something. He's Elseworld, right? Something different.
It's an Elseworld, yeah.
Whatever Elseworld means.
Yeah. Pattinson is still going to be doing that. That's coming out October of 2024, I believe.
And I saw a thing on Twitter that they were talking about maybe bringing in the guy that was in Punisher to play Batman in the first season, Ben something. He was in Narnia back in the day. He was the bad guy in the Punisher. What's his name?
Oh, bad guy.
Yeah. He was the bad guy. He does the T-Mobile commercials right now.
I know who you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
I'm fine with it. I don't really know. I don't really care, to be honest with you. I don't really have as much skin in the game in this stuff. When it happens, when it gets announced, I'll make my decision at that point. I'm as I get older, I'm finding myself less reactive to stuff. Stuff bothers me in a different way. And so I don't really care. I just don't care at this point.
When
it gets announced, it'll be fun.
I gotta bring something up real quick, unless you have something else you want to talk about.
No, you're good.
I was telling my brother, you're a football fan, right? Soccer.
Oh yeah.
What
Oh
do you
yeah.
think? What do you
Soccer.
think?
So real football.
Yeah, real
Okay.
football. See, I told you, real football. Why? What do you think of Messi going to MLS? How do you feel about that?
Um. Okay. I love the fact that it's happening and that he's going to be the biggest star that has ever played in American, on American soil, at least in our generation. Because obviously Pele played,
New
decades
York.
ago. And
Yeah, back in the day.
Pele is the biggest there's ever been. But I mean, when it comes down to it, yeah, I love the fact that it's happening. Here's what I don't like. I live in Jacksonville, Florida. Miami's not that far. It's like 5-6 hours away. My whole thought was I have a good friend I've worked with since I've known for like 20 some odd years. His name's Carlos. He lives in Vegas now, but I grew up with him in California. I used to work with him in Circuit City back in the day when I was really
Wow, Circuit
like
City.
half my life ago. Yeah. So he's a huge football fan, huge soccer fan. And Argentina has always been his favorite national team. I'm a Germany guy. He's an Argentina guy. So he loves Messi. Messi, is his idol. He is.
I love Messi too.
So yeah, and so yeah, he's amazing. He's an amazing player. He really is. There's nothing you can say negative about the guy. The guy does it the right way. He's
100%.
But here's the thing about it. So we had when the talks first started months ago about this potentially happening, he and I had spoken, and I said, if this is going to happen, dude, we've got to get together. You're in Vegas, I'm in Florida. He's going to be playing in Miami, dude. We fly to Jacksonville or whatever. I'll move you down to Miami, whatever you want to do. Let's go see a game. So the whole thing really kind of happened really, really quick. Once it actually got announced, it was just like, bam, this happened. There was no real kind of build up necessarily to it. Just kind of just overnight seemed like, oh, Messi's coming to Miami. So I was like, oh, this is great. So there's this app I love on my phone called Fanimal. I use it whenever I want to buy tickets for stuff because you don't have to pay fees, unlike SeatGeek and the other ones.
Yeah.
So you don't have to pay the fees. So what you see is what you pay. I love it. Free advertising for Fanimal. It's great. So go on Fanimal, and the cost, my God, what was a $40 ticket? Was a $40 ticket now is $300, $150 for like just to get in the freaking door. And so it's like, no, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna play along with this. Any other game you want to see, if you want to go see an Inter Miami game right now, $43 a ticket. July 21st, which is the game that everyone's expecting Messi to debut in, is like ridiculous now. That's not fair to the fans.
No, it's not. I was telling my brother the same thing. I was like, because I follow LAFC. That's the team I follow in MLS.
Uh-huh.
I try to have a favorite team in that league. And I was looking at tickets. They're like $100, maybe 120, lower level. Because my cousin has season tickets there. So I was like, my son's like, oh, Dad, Messi's coming. You said if he went to Miami, we'd go see him play. I'm like, yeah, cool. Let's look at tickets. $1,400 on SeatGeek.
Yep. So
I can't justify that.
Imagine you're exactly in that position because obviously I don't have kids. So here's your kid wants to go see Messi, the best there's ever been, the best that whatever, the GOAT, if you will, which I hate that term, but I'll use it here like loosely. You're using this thing. Everyone wants to go see him. He's playing on American soil. You never get to see this guy play. I only get to see him. I get to see him, on TV. You get to see him in the flesh now. Now you don't have to go all the way to Europe. You don't have to go to South America. And now suddenly the tickets are ridiculous. They're more expensive than NFL tickets.
Yeah,
it's not fair. Soccer. I'm used to NFL football being unreasonably expensive. I acknowledge the fact that that's just the case. And if I want to go to a game for two people to get decent seats, I'm probably going to have to drop $250, $300. That's just the way it is. Soccer is not about that. The reason, I'm a Bayern Munich fan. Okay, the reason I love the Bundesliga and the reason I love Bayern is the fact that
They went up.
exactly.
It's 1,600 now.
Yeah. So the reason that I'm a Bayern fan is the fact that they have a system in the Bundesliga called the 50+1 rule. Do you know what that is?
No.
Okay. So essentially just what it says is that there's no bigger group that can own an actual soccer club in Germany in the Bundesliga. It's all majorly owned by fans. And what that basically does is it makes it so that you can't have a situation like you have in the Premier League or in League One or
La
in
Liga.
Series A or whatever else, where you basically have, like oil sheiks from the UAE or from Qatar going and buying a soccer club and spending obscene amounts of money because there's no salary cap or anything else, and then just jacking up the price to justify their expenses basically. So you can go and see Bayern Munich, the top team, the top flight team in Germany, and you can get in for $40-$50.
Nice.
That's what it should be. The whole idea basically is that it should be affordable for the average working person to be able to go with their family to see a game. And that's the way that soccer should be. It's the world sport for a reason.
Yep.
Let's make it that way. It's the way it should be here. MLS should be marketing itself as something for everyone, and it's not.
It's not with those ticket prices
this way. No. I like LAFC, that they actually are the Bayern like sister club, which is kind of cool. They have kind of like a partnership going. Yeah, they do. It happened earlier this year. Got announced at LAFC. But the team I actually really kind of like is Atlanta United. One, because obviously Atlanta. I love Atlanta teams typically. But I like the idea that
we got 1 minute left.
Yeah, but living in Florida, I like the idea that I can go see a team, relatively close to me and in a stadium that I like, obviously in a city I like. So I can go see a normal I can go see a normal game for $40. If I want to go see the Atlanta United game when Miami goes to play there, $400. Come on.
It's not cool.
It's not fair.
Yeah.
The guy's getting paid a king's ransom, and I have nothing against that. I have nothing against, the guy making money. Yeah, but come on, don't do it at the expense of the fans.
Yep.
Don't burn them.
What's the next movie we're gonna do? Blue Beetle?
Well, I think probably the next show we probably should do is probably Secret Invasion, which premieres on Wednesday.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. So that's Sean McNally with the McNally Minutes. And we'll talk to you soon, bud.
Several minutes.
Take care.
All right. Take care, bud. Thanks again.
Bye.
All right, bye.